everyone, and welcome to the Utopia of Nerd News. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam.
And yeah, let's get on with that gaming news.
Alright, so to start off the gaming news this week, we had tons of Pokemon stuff announced, obviously, because Pokemon X and Y are coming out soon.
Yes.
In a little bit less than a month.
I can't wait.
And they announced the evolutions for the starter Pokemon. The first one being the Grass-type Chespin will evolve into Guadalin, something like that, which is obviously a grass type that'll have, they said, some kind of grass or ground type moves. So I don't know if it gets a ground subtype later or not. They didn't say if they got subtypes, but they did say that it would have a ground. What were your thoughts on how it looked?
Well, actually, subtypes, I could see it, because that's kind of what they did with Black 2 and White 2.
Well, yeah, they've had a lot with subtypes before. I was just saying because
Yeah.
they didn't officially say it.
Yeah.
But
I
they
could
did
see
say
it.
it will have grass-type moves. And yeah, it looks like something that'll have ground.
As for the character, it looks big.
It looks ugly, is what she's saying. It looks really ugly
No,
and
I'm
stupid.
not saying it could be worse. I mean, it really could be worse. I don't know.
This is the ugliest starter since Turtwig.
I don't know. That Froagie's pretty ugly.
The second one we're going to go into is Finnicum, who will evolve into Brazekin, something like that. Finnicum is the best looking of the first form evolutions, but the Brazekin was really kind of disappointing.
Why?
I was wanting it to be some kind of cool looking like fox thing. They have it, I don't know, it looks really feminine. I hope there's a male version that looks different, because it kind of ruins it if that's just it. But as far as this one goes, it is a fire type, and it was said to have some psychic type moves, so it's probably going to be broken, and it's going to be the easy route, the quote-unquote easy route, if you take that one, is what I would assume, because psychics tend to be really powerful. What were your thoughts?
I think it's adorable. Maybe it's because I'm a female, but I also think that the first form kind of looks a little feminine too. But
Well, it kind of does, but they're all supposed to look kind of chibi, like little kitty versions. I was hoping it would take the Vulpix route, where Vulpix is adorable, and then it becomes an awesome-looking, badass killing machine with 9 tails. And this time, it kind of goes even farther towards the feminine, you know, away from the... It goes from being like kitty to being like, I don't know. It's really stupid.
First gens were amazing.
Right.
They've obviously decided.
Yeah,
to change
but
stuff,
Black and White were like a step in the right direction with the starters. I mean, they got really bad there, and this is going right into the bad category again. I think this is a pretty weak selection. The next one is Froakie, who will evolve into a Frogadier, which is a water type with some flying type moves, which I was kind of curious on flying type because it doesn't have wings.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess maybe the jumping, they needed something, I guess. Some flying type moves, so potentially a flying subtype. What were your thoughts on him?
I don't like his first form. His second form looks better. That's really all.
I think the first form is alright, I guess. It's better than the Chespin one. And the evolved version is probably the best of them. It's at least tolerable, unlike the other two. Alright, the next thing is the changing outfits. In this one, you can take your trainer and you can change their hats, their shirts, their pants, their accessories, whatever, so they can make it, I guess, look more whatever you want them to look like.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I don't know. I'm fine with them having the same outfit. I don't really care about their customization. That's just me.
I'm indifferent. The next one is a Pokemon called Furfrou, something like that. And this is a poodle type Pokemon who you can shear and change its look. And if you leave it alone too long, it'll regrow its fur. I have absolutely no interest in this Pokemon. What about you?
Nope.
So it seems like Sarah really loves this one.
Yep.
If I was to get it just looking off the pictures, I would probably keep it just plain. Because before it's cut, it looks a lot better. It doesn't look that great, but it looks a lot better. Honestly, a lot of the Pokemon don't look that great.
But if you're a poodle lover and you like to shear
You need
and
to change your taste
customize,
in dogs.
You have a gold mine to this Pokemon game.
Now, moving on to some much cooler Pokemon. They did go into some types, which is kind of why I threw it in earlier. I hope Finnicum has a male-female evolve change difference between male to female, because they're having more Pokemon do that now. And the first one they came out with was named Meowstic, something like that. I haven't heard pronunciation, so I'm just going off what I read. So, yes, that one has the male to female version. I think they both look actually pretty cool. And this is a Psychic-type Kitty. And the male version will get Miracle Eye, which allows you to attack people even when they evade. And the female version gets Extrasensory, which is an attack that obviously will do damage and has a chance to stun your opponent or whatever. So, yeah, I think they're both pretty good.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Yep. And the best looking ones that they've shown from this entire generation so far, they showed the male to female versions of Pyroar. What were your thoughts on Pyroar?
Oh, Pyroar. I don't know. I wonder if it's the evolved form of
the Leon.
Yeah. That's what my guess is.
Yeah, me too.
It looks adorable.
Both the male and female versions look amazing. This is clearly the best looking Pokemon in this generation. One of two that doesn't look mediocre at best. Alright, also, we got a couple more Mega Evolutions announced. The first one for Garchomp. Do you have anything for that?
Garchomp. Nope.
Okay, he looks like a Jaeger. Moving on. The next one is for Mewtwo. Now, we've seen Mewtwo's kind of, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z almost looking one in the past that was announced. Well, they said that one's only going to be for Y. Now, they did say that there will be a different one for X, which is a half fighting type, which looks pretty cool, I think.
Yep, I'm getting X.
Psychic fighting. And they announced that there are the 5 scientists for Team Flare, so you can see the pictures if you want. There's really nothing worth talking about because you don't know anything really. They said like names or whatever for them, but who cares? They're not Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon X and Y will be coming out on October 12th, just as a reminder. So that's it for all that Pokemon stuff. Now moving on, Fable Anniversary was delayed to 2014 in February, which is fine with me. They said they're moving it back because they wanted more time to make sure they could get the game the way they wanted it to, so absolutely no complaints here from it. The original Fable was by far the best Fable ever to come out, by a mile. It was the only really good one. After that, they got kind of average, I guess, with 2, and then really bad with 3, and then they had like Fable Journey and some small side games to come out, but really the first one was the only really good one. So I suppose take your time, make sure you do the HD version really well. Next up, we got a few trademarks for Hitman Sniper, Hitman Go, and Deus Ex Universe, and they were all filed September 10th of this year. We don't really know anything about them outside of the fact that the names were filed, but it's 2 Hitman games and a Deus Ex game. I would imagine Hitman Go is a mobile game, if I was to make a guess. And the last little bit of gaming news we have is, for those of you who are fans of Kingdoms of Amalur, the rights and assets will go on sale soon, is what they've officially said, which will also include the Cornucopias MMO that they were working on when Studio 38 got shut down, and so basically it's going on rights. We don't know if anyone's going to pick it up or how much they'll pick it up for, but I suppose there's a chance for a second game. I would be very surprised to actually see the MMO get fully made. There's a lot of MMOs coming out right now. Final Fantasy looks like it's doing pretty well. I'd imagine Elder Scrolls won't completely bomb. Star Wars is trying to make a second push with the free-to-play stuff. WildStar's coming out. I would be surprised if somebody actually wanted to funnel in $150, $200 million to complete an MMO, but there might be a second one at some point. Now, moving on to movies, in case you haven't heard, it's been all the rage in the movie news lately, is Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling have announced that there will be a new Harry Potter series based off the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and the main character's name is Newt Scamander? Something like that. Anyway, and the screenplay for it, which is probably the coolest part, will actually be written by J.K. Rowling. So I guess that's the thing. It was only a book that was basically like a textbook with different like monster informations. So I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting because they said they wanted to make. Well, they didn't say it, but they basically implied they're wanting this to be a new series, not just a new movie. So I don't know. It takes place 70 years before the original Harry Potter, and that's probably my favorite thing about this. If they're going to go back in, it's not a prequel or a sequel. It's something that's just in the universe and its own entity. And for those who are really big Harry Potter fans, this is also the book that they were supposed to read in their first year.
Oh.
And the main character of this is actually the person who is supposed to have written that book. So it's very connected in.
That's really awesome. I mean, I used to be a huge Harry Potter fan. I read all the books. And I especially read them before I even watched the movies. But yeah, that's really cool. I know that I think this might be actually J.K. Rowling's like debut screenwriting, or I think that's what it said. But
it might be.
That's really cool for her. I'm excited that there's a lot of Harry Potter fans still out there, and it's cool that they're trying to keep that world alive. So, good for them.
Moving on, in slightly less exciting news, I suppose, is the Mortal Bones sequel has been canceled because the first one bombed so horribly and nobody wanted to see a sequel. So the sequel for that, which they refused to give up on until just recently, is no more. So that's what you get for casting Jamie Campbell Bower. Jurassic Park has its official release date and official title for the movie. It will be called Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park. And it will be released on June 12th, 2015, so that's just another massive movie to throw in with Avengers 2, Batman, Superman, or whatever they call that one, Star Wars, Ant-Man, etc., etc. There's tons of movies coming out that summer. Most people are looking at it and saying this is going to be by far the biggest summer in movie history.
Oh, sure.
So, just another big one for that. So, we've got some trailers to talk about. Are you ready to talk about some trailers?
Let's talk about some trailers.
Alright, so the first trailer to talk about is Plush. Now, Plush is starring Emily Browning, and it's basically, I guess, a horror-ish type of movie. Not really horror, kind of thriller. About, I suppose, think of like a popular pop star kind of a person archetype they made up for this. And she's got like a family and stuff, and she like starts going down a dark road, and she's got like a creepy stalker person. And you have any thoughts about this?
I will never watch it because I do not like horror or thriller movies. But I will say, you know, for being a thriller, I'm gonna call it more of a thriller than a horror because obviously the trailer looked more thriller-y, but I think it has an interesting premise. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of pop stars or rock stars go through a phase where they have that crazy psycho fan that is like in love with them and doesn't want to leave them alone or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I would say it has an interesting premise, not one I would ever watch. It looked really dark and grungy and stuff, which obviously makes sense, but hey.
The second one we're going to talk about, my personal favorite out of all the trailers that came out this week, including the ones we're not even going to talk about, the Railway Guy. This movie has actors up the wazoo. It looks extremely good.
It does. It looks really good. I'm excited for this. Very excited. I love Colin Firth.
Right, Colin Firth, Stellan Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
I mean, just a lot of really top quality actors who can really, like, I mean, they have award-winning actors. I mean, that says it all right there. This is about basically based off a true story of a British soldier who had PTSD because he was in an internment camp held by Japan, which were considered some of the worst in the entirety of World War II. They don't tell too much. They tell you just enough that he's going there to try and like meet the guy who tortured him or did whatever he did to him, because we don't know what he did. And it looks really good.
Oh my gosh,
it looks like
so
a potential award-winning type movie.
Definitely one I'm gonna go watch.
The next one is Homefront, starring Jason Statham and James Franco. What are your thoughts?
I just want to say this is like a southern take on Taken. That's what I feel like. It's different, but it made me think that at the end. I love Jason Statham, and I think this movie looks interesting. It portrays James Franco as a way different character than what I've seen him play. Well,
recently he's been doing a lot of villain/drug dealer type roles, so I guess this is just in his long recent line of them.
That makes sense. He kind of looks like, he
looks like a good villain.
Like in the old times with like the old villain and the train tracks or whatever with the curly mustache. James Franco pulled that off. But yeah, I think it looks interesting, really.
Right, I think this doesn't look like the last one we were just mentioning, where it looks like it could potentially be an award-winning type movie. This doesn't look like it's going to take itself... I mean, it's a serious movie, but it doesn't... it's going to stay in kind of what it is. It's an action... It's an adult action movie. And I think it looks fun. My only little thing is I wish Jason Statham at some point in his career would stop with the English accent for when it doesn't make sense. Because this is a movie where it does not make sense. Right? And I understand he's an action actor. You don't expect great things out of him. But you're paid millions of dollars. You can hire a voice coach to teach you a southern accent, or even a more of an atypical American accent. His daughter has the most American sounding accent in the entire movie. And if she was grown up, because what it looks like is that he's a single dad, she would have a little bit of an English accent in there. Because he's got a very strong English accent. And I don't know, it just, that whole accent part of it kind of bugs me, because they're in the deep south. He's got a deep British accent. He's supposed to be what it looks like an American cop. And I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I wish that he would just do a little accent. That's my only little thing I have against it. Outside of that, it looks pretty fun. And it's kind of cool. We can see Green Goblin versus the man who was that close to being Daredevil. And the last one we're going to talk about is Grudge, starring Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro and Kevin Hart.
I want to see this movie. Even if it has the most ridiculous premise ever, it looks so funny. Yeah, it's like Sylvester Stallone going back and doing his Rocky days, except he's not climbing those stairs.
Right, they even make some jokes about that, where he's about to hit a big meat thing, and he's like, "What are you doing? We're just buying dinner," you know. But this is about basically 30 years later, after two boxers who never had their rubber match. Meaning they both went 1-for-1 against each other, and they needed their tiebreaker, basically, but they never got that. They both retired, and they ended up throwing what it looks like a series of odd events. They end up having their rematch, both with them in their, 60s or whatever, and, people are making fun of them. It looks like kind of a fun, lighthearted movie, not a lot of depth, obviously, with what it is.
Yeah, I love Robert De Niro. He's so funny.
Right.
But it looks so funny. It looks fun.
And Kevin Hart looks awesome in it, too.
Yes, he's yes.
Probably my favorite of the trailer. Anyway, just moving on to TV real quick. We have a few things to run through. We have a casting announcement for The Flash in the Green Arrow TV series, which is a 23-year-old named Grant Justin. I've never seen him in anything, but
there you go.
A Breaking Bad spinoff that has been rumored for over a year has been confirmed. It's going to be called Better Call Saul. It's obviously off of the character Saul. I don't know, but it's a thing. And the last one is a TV show that keeps getting kind of rumored and then put down and then rumored then put down, and it's been brought back up again, which is a Friday the 13th one based on Jason Voorhees. And the weirdest part about this is they said it will be Smallville-like, which I have no clue what that means. And I watched all of Smallville. Okay, Smallville was based around Superman in his younger days and going through high school and things like that. You can't really do that with Jason Voorhees because that doesn't make sense. He didn't become the monster thing until after he died.
I think there used to be a Friday the 13th TV series, way back in the day.
I don't know, it's just weird to me that they're picking a Superman thing to say it's going to be like this Superman thing for Jason Voorhees. I don't know, it's really weird.
Maybe maybe they mean that it's going to be like him as a kid and shows, I don't know.
It doesn't sound appealing. We'll just leave it at that. And that will be it for my news. So now we've got some anime news over there.
So, anime news. There's some very interesting stuff going on in the anime world, but there's always interesting stuff going on in any world that you're in. Hopefully. Anyways.
Maybe. Not Suikoden.
Yeah.
Bring back Suikoden.
Bring back. Anyways, so we talked about The Wind Rises last weekend, and there's some interesting information about it. The Wind Rises is the first Japanese film to top 10 billion yen since Ponyo, which came out in 2008. And 10 billion yen is $100 million US dollars. So that's that's crazy. That's good. That's amazing. The reason why it had this huge well, obviously, I'm sure it's a good film, but there was also the announcement about Miyazaki last weekend that he is going to retire. This is his last film, his last feature film that he's done, and so that's why there's a lot of ticket sales going on, and yeah, that happened on Wednesday, September the 11th. And another film, just a fun fact, another film that topped 10 billion yen back in 2010 was the American film Toy Story 3. If you are a One Piece fan, there's a character that they just announced the voice actor for, and he is going to make his English debut in the One Piece movie called Strong World. And the voice actor is Ian Sinclair, and he is playing the character Brooke. The film will be available on November 19th on Blu-ray DVD combo and on DVD. So, that's cool for you One Piece fans. They now announced the character Brooke. He looks like he's a skeleton with like this huge afro. I've never watched any of the One Pieces, but cool. Yay! Funimation announced that they have the English cast for Good Luck Girl. And what Good Luck Girl is about, it's about a girl who gets lucky a lot. And not in the bad way, if you were going that way. Not in the bad way. She's rich, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's stacked. Her name is Ichiko.
Okay.
And she's better than you at everything.
Yeah, well, that's common.
So, anyways, yes, this girl's very lucky, and there is a character called Momiji who is a poverty god, and she has a huge syringe, or he has a huge syringe. I don't know. The picture that I saw looked like two girls, but you never know. And they're out to take Ichiko's extra good fortune. So that's what that premise is about. That will be available on DVD and Blu-ray November 19th as well, and you can pre-order both of the One Piece and the Good Luck Girl starting now. Or now, whatever.
No.
Not right now, but, you know.
Finish the episode.
Right.
Right.
And in my last piece of anime news, there was a new release last Tuesday from Funimation, which, if you're a fan of The Last Exile, they have an add-on. So it's called Last Exile Fam the Silver Wing, and if you purchase the limited edition, you'll receive a collectible art box with a 16-page art book. So if you're a Last Exile fan, like I said, this might be something that you want to check out. So that's really all that there is for anime news. Now on to some book news. There is a book coming out that's called Lords of Mars. It is a Warhammer 40,000. It's by Graham McNeil, and it's a hardcover. And it is an Adeptus Mechanicus Explorator, say that 3 times fast, meets its fate beyond the Halo worlds, and pursued by a vengeful elder, Magos Kotovs. There's some very interesting names in this. Explorator Armada heads into a newly revealed area of space in pursuit of ancient secrets. And what will they find? It might be something they weren't expecting. So, yeah, if you're into the Warhammer books, I guess this might be one for you. And then the last thing is there is a Doctor Who official annual 2014. I'm not quite sure who it's by, but it is going to be a hardcover. And when I saw annual, I was like, oh, it's a calendar. But I don't know if it's a calendar. I don't think so. So, anyways, it's going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who with the official annual. It's packed with facts, features, puzzles, comics, and stories about everyone's favorite Time Lord, as well as his new companion and the enemies that he will be facing and stuff. So that's really cool. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Yay, exciting. These both come out on September 17th on Tuesday, so pick them up if you are into that. And that's all.
So that's it for our show. Thank you for watching. Over the course of this next week, you can expect an anime review for the first season of Chobits, right?
Yes.
Or is it the whole series?
Nope. Well, it says first season. I don't know if there's a couple different seasons, but...
Or if they're just not out in America yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so
We'll
the
just say
first
the first
season
season
of Chobits with Sarah and you can just look at her and you don't have to bother with me anymore. So, see you next time. Have a good day, and make sure you click the mystery box.
Yes, click that mystery box, because it has some awesome videos. Well, just a video in there. But yeah, click it. Have a good day.
Now get out.
Don't get out. See you later.